to pay, homage to them, Master Giro for creating this, and Mary Burmeister for bringing it to us, and then most definitely Adele for translating it for our animals. What I'd like to do to begin this evening is go ahead and start out just doing a self-hug for all of us, a little bit of self-help. So everybody could grab underneath their arms. And we'll just go ahead and do a cycle of 18 or so breaths with this, just to get everybody centered and ready. The self-help hug is very good as a grounding hug. We're going to talk a little bit about the grounding moves that we used when Dewey first came to live with us, and some of the things that we did with him every day so that it would make him more comfortable being in our environment and more comfortable being with our doggy family. While you're breathing in, holding your 26, Dewey is a golden doodle. He's actually going to turn 2 at the end of this month. And he came to us through Adele, but from Alaqua Animal Refuge, which is in Destin, Florida. At the time that Adele was working with him, he was identified as being hearing impaired or possibly even deaf. He was, at that point in time, just a few months old and had been purchased by a family with 5 young children. So he was in a home that had lots and lots of activity. Unfortunately, the family did not keep him. They chose to abandon him at the vet after he was about 2-3 months old, because he had already had 1 surgery to remove some items from his stomach, and they thought he was going to need to have another surgery, and that was just too much for them. So that's how he ended up with Alaqua and had the opportunity to meet Adele and everyone there. We did find after he was with us that there had been a little bit of abuse in the home as well, because he had a real aversion to brooms. And we think that possibly they maybe used a broom to discipline him. I think Adele would sum up when she met him that he was somewhat depressed, maybe even despondent. It seemed as though he couldn't hear. The staff at Alaqua had actually banged some pots over his head, and they received no reaction from him. And that actually happened a couple of different times, just trying to test and see how much he could hear. And he really didn't engage with the humans that much. He was really just kind of checking out. And after the 4 to 5 weeks that Adele was able to work with him, they saw some improvements in his hearing. He'd actually move his head or turn his head with loud noises, and he would engage to some extent, although he still seemed somewhat depressed, and really just didn't respond like a normal puppy. I think that was the key of what we were looking for. I don't know, Adele, if you had any words you wanted to add to that. Can you guys hear me okay? Okay, good. All right. Just a quick reminder of the safety energy locks that we have for our animals. This is the dog, and I'm going to switch over to the horse picture because it's a little bit easier to see. The things we started out with Dewey in the beginning was really just doing the introductory holds of 10 and 13. Because we felt that he just needed to get grounded. He just needed to be able to sit and relax and not have having us trying to, reach around him or do anything else that was difficult. So this is where we started with him. We then moved on to primary mover and worked with the safety energy lock 1, which is by the knee, and safety energy lock 2, which is by the hip. And I'll do a short demonstration with him in just a moment, but kind of just to review what the initial centering does and how it helps. It's building that connection between you and the animal. It balances the inhale and the exhale of the breath, both yours and the animal. And you'll find that sometimes their breath will actually become in sync with yours. It opens up the dialogue so that they understand what you're trying to do and that you're trying to communicate, and there is no harm. So in the case with Dewey, he was pretty open, although he really didn't respond all that much. He pretty much just kind of sat still. It does help with bronchitis. It helps with allergies, coughing, any asthma. So any lung related issues, it's good with. If you have a female, it helps with fertility and pregnancy. It helps to digest life energetically as well as physically. And in his case, we were concerned that there were maybe some negative things in his background that we really wanted him to resolve and not have to deal with any further. So kind of going back to that abuse that he had, I don't think there was a lot of abuse. I think it was minimal, and it was probably all around behavior and just probably folks that had never had a puppy before and just didn't know how to work with them. This helps with working with him because in any new situations, or as we've been trying to teach him to do some agility work, I tend to start with the initial holds just to try to get him calmed down and relaxed, because he's so excited whenever we start to practice that. So it really just helped show him unconditional love and really what was happening as far as a new connection to humans. The key things that you will see when you're working with your animal, the licking, definitely yawning, maybe a little bit of chewing. The way Dewey came out of a lot of his initial issues was he was a fairly significant bone chewer. So if you gave him a bone, he would just go to town on it. And that seemed to be the way he dealt with stress. So we, have multiple bones. He has his own little basket of bones that he gets to pull from every day. But that's kind of how we dealt with it. Now that he's almost 2, the amount of time he needs or wants to spend with a bone is dropping. It's less and less. So, I think that's just him growing up and calming down. But you definitely will see how he'll drop his head. He will breathe a little bit deeper. He might even, we talked about yawning, but he may even sigh. And his whole face will just get softer. He'll definitely lean into you a little bit, and you might even get a little bit of gas passing. And they had dinner about an hour ago, so that might be on top of everything that we may see that. Just a quick reminder of the relationships between the safety energy locks. I talked about the prime mover, and that's one that we spend a lot of time with. But as we said, also 10 and 13, unconditional love with safety energy lock 10, and just abundance and outpouring of limitless life power. I have a hard time saying that all the time with safety energy lock 10. So just wanted to review that very quickly and make sure everybody remembered that. And again, in sharing a session with any animal, we want to make sure the environment is safe and secure for them, greeting them and being present, be in their environment. We're going to be up on a bed right behind me when we work with him tonight. He's already had a little bit of exercise and he had his dinner, so he's good to go there. And he's been in this space now for about a half an hour, 45 minutes. So he's already checked everything out. So he should calm down fairly quickly. So I'm going to go ahead and stop my share and get him up on the table so we can start our session. All right, so this is Dewey. You saw the picture from before when he was younger, but he just had his first new cut this week. So he's all handsome and in good shape from a puppy fur standpoint. we'll just start out doing 10 and 13, as I had mentioned in the introduction. And he's probably gonna face me rather than you guys, so I'm wondering if I should come around to the other side, so you'll look the other way. What do you think? Let's try it. You guys don't need to see me as much as you need to see him. How's that? Is that better? So again, placing one hand right here on his chest and the other up right at the right behind his neck.
Buddy.
And he's pretty comfortable with this. He gets a little bit of this almost every day. And he's even gotten so comfortable now that I can work with each of his paws and stick my fingers in there and do any kind of holding. I think when we've talked about Jin Shin Jyutsu with animals before, we've talked about the fact that that's not always something that they're real comfortable with. Just let him relax and sink into this a little bit. You can see he's luckily at this point in time, he's finally calmed down a little bit. He got to run a little bit today, so he spent some time out barking at the neighbors. And then from this, I would normally go into working with safety energy lock 1 right here at the knee, and safety energy lock 2 here at the top of the hip. And he's pretty used to this too. A lot of times when he's watching TV in the evening, he'll get a little bit of this, or in the morning with morning coffee. He actually decided to slurp my coffee earlier today, so not sure what he thought of it, but good. And he'll just calm down, he'll relax. He's not used to being up in the air quite this high, so that's a little bit different for him. But considering how he was when he first was introduced to Jin Shin Jyutsu, he's very used to it now. He's pretty comfortable with just about anything. Like I said, I can work on his toes. I can have my hand in to his 15s without him bothering a bit. Very comfortable with that. Everybody see okay? It kind of looks like I might be getting fuzzy. Jude, what's your take on that? Is it fuzzy? Let's try this and see if that works better. Is that better?
Much better.
All right.
Much, much better.
Yeah, I forgot I had a backup blur my background on my setup, so. So from the lively puppy that he was a few months ago, he's really chilling out and learning to relax. Any questions from anybody? I know a lot of you guys already do work with your own animals. I think the main thing that we're pleased about is if he has any hearing deficit, it's not more than 20%. Because for the most part, we find that he hears just about everything. Do? Can you say? Do?
Susan, I know that you've said he could hear everything, but compared to that little scared boy I met, this is just so, oh my gosh, it fills my heart up.
Yeah. He's just calmed down so much. And even Dell, I know we talked about the chewing, because he was, pretty vigorous chewer. He would always have at least one bone, if not two bones, very close. And would, be chewing pretty, like he was really trying to get someplace with it. And all of that's just really calmed down with his Jin Shin Jyutsu. He's got Lacey's here with him. That's one of his playmates. She's down on the floor, so she's hanging out close by him. So he's just calmed down so much, and it just seems to be so relaxed compared to where he was. And I know he was kind of despondent when he was at Alaqua, so we're just happy that he's very involved. He loves all of we've got a couple of other dogs. He loves playing with everybody. He's made friends with everybody. Makes a little bit of strange to new people that come in, but that takes, it's less than 5 minutes and they're friends. So he seems to do well with that. But yeah, we just thought it would be a good time, since it's been over a year now that he's been with us and we've been working with him, to kind of give everybody an update on how he's doing and what his life looks like these days. Main thing is we started training agility late last year, and we took a little break over the winter, but he'll start back up here again pretty soon. They like you to be more than 18 months before you do any of the jumping or any of the other things that go with agility. So we're hoping that maybe he'll be in some competitions by this summer or the end of summer. But so far so good. He seems like he's coming along, and I like I said, other than the maybe 20% that he doesn't hear, or maybe chooses not to hear, we haven't done any official testing yet, but that's all that seems to be left over.
Oh, what a beauty.
Yeah.
Susan, there is one question
Yes.
from Aunt Linda, and so I'm on my iPad where I can't easily get to the chat.
Jude, can you help us? I'm not close enough to the computer to see.
I'm
I
not
can mute if that helps.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, 2 weeks ago, I didn't make it to this meeting because I thought Trip would surely fold. But guess what? No fold. She was bred April the 19th, so she could have folded anywhere March 17th through the 31st, but still today she's still has the baby inside her. But that day Motel really did help her, and I helped her, and Kelly gave me information because she was uncomfortable and not eating. And after we worked with her, she, went back to eating, and she feels okay, but still no baby.
Still don't have a baby? Wow.
Still don't have a baby.
Well, I think that Susan was psychic about this because it's the least exotic thing we do, but that 10 and 13 is the key to all active reproduction. And it's not going to upset her. You're not going to be in her way, but just center of the breastbone, center of the shoulder blade. First thing that comes to my mind. Susan, what would you add for that?
Well, I mean, the prime mover is going to be good to help get things moving. So I'd certainly consider going, trying to catch that knee on their back leg right there.
Yeah, stifle for us. Yeah, we do the stifle. quite a bit because I can hold like the 1 and 8 at the same time on the stifle. So all up and down through there. So
Well, and Safety Energy Lock 15 is the focus of joy and laughter. So if you need to, maybe that
go
would
on
make
up in
you
there.
feel a little bit better.
Bless her heart. Well, hopefully we'll send a picture sometime soon.
Well, hopefully we'll have a baby here very soon because
Yeah, we've got a wise camera on her, so at least I don't have to get up in the middle of the night. I can just look at the camera and see. But anyway, well, I'll try the 15 also, add that in there.
Yeah, well,
Thank you.
I just like that one because I think there's like some comfort to it. I'm not sure why. But like right now, he stopped moving around when I put my hand on his 15,
Yeah,
and it's like, I don't know if it's more calming. I mean, between 15 and 2, I've got a pretty good hold on him. I mean,
right.
Was a cat in here. He's getting pretty good about not wanting to play with the cats as much anymore. That was his initial thing that he chased whatever cat was near around the house, but we've got that slowed down a little bit and he's realizing that he's not supposed to do that. But it took a while because I think he's just such a player. He wants to play.
It's good he's a puppy now, huh?
Well, hopefully we officially migrate out of puppyhood here at the end of the month. So
Well, thank you.
He's a tax day doggy, so he turns 2 on April 15th. So we will see how he does. But so Mangita, if we get you this new dog, this is what can happen.
I know, but I just absolutely can't right now. And when I can, if I
We'll
can,
get you
I
2
will.
when you can.
Sorry?
We'll get you 2,
Yeah.
so you'll have friends.
I mean, I really have bonded with Ben. I've actually given him, I was trying to figure out, I know I know Jin Shin Jyutsu, but now the animals, I'm like brand new all over again.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you which page I used. It's page 31. What is it? Left 11 and left 25. Would that be good for his? I mean, his thing is on the right. So would that be good? 11 and 25 for his hind leg?
25. You might want to do it on both sides though.
Yeah, I've done
Try to
both
get the
sides. I've got to
balance.
say, I did it yesterday for a short time because he told me he was up and first he was like trying to get he was happy.
Yeah.
And then he got up, he was done. But Doreen noticed that he was limping less yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I just
come here. I think if you did 15 and 2 and 15 and 25, I think both of those would help out.
okay,
Because,
good.
I can get 15 even from here. So it's really easy with him standing,
Okay,
but if he's having some difficulty with that, I would think he would probably lay down
So-
for you just as easily.
so you had your right on the 15? No, yes. And then your left is what? Where is
The
that?
left is here, here's the 25 and here's
Okay.
the 2.
Okay,
So depending on where you want it to be.
right.
Come here, bud. Come on. Can you sit? Good boy.
Hey, Ben.
So from this
Come here.
side, I turn on this way.
Good boy. Come, sit.
I don't know if you can see me okay. But he's pretty okay with this. And then I just do it on both sides.
Okay,
And that hopefully that'll loosen up those areas a little bit, maybe get some additional blood flow.
great.
One of our other puppies is starting to have, he's 11 and he's starting to have some hip issues. So I spend a little bit of time when he's not as tolerant, but I'll spend a little bit of time with him doing, just holding both 25s, even down in 15 and 25, just to try to loosen up that area, but he's starting to have some nerve issue where he's crossing his back paws.
That's
So-
what he's doing when he's walking. I see that.
Yeah, you, from a vet standpoint, I would just talk to them and see if there's anything that they would recommend, but definitely doing that makes a difference. I mean, I can see the difference with Roscoe just from when he walks from the back door back into his area where his doggy bed is, so you're talking about 30, 40 feet. And I
Right.
can see a difference if I'm standing out on the deck holding that area to once he's back in the house.
Great. Thank you so much, Susan.
No problem.
This is like my first experience.
Well, and call me if you get stuck with anything. I'm happy to help you.
Thank you so much.
Is there anybody else has any other questions? I don't want to run too far over. It looks like we're just past 8:30.
Susan, this is Lynn. I just want to thank you for the update. I met Dewey last year at Adele's class in Louisville, and what a difference. He is so calm. He was extremely energetic and very happy to have all of us work on him. And you can see what a difference. He's beautiful. Thank you.
No problem. And he's got, with his new haircut, which he's styling for you guys, he definitely looks like an older gent. A whole two, almost two. But anyway, if there's not any other questions, email me, let me know if anybody has any questions or issues after this. I think everybody's got to have my email. It's jsjalivenow@gmail.com.
Thank you so much.
And I think that I'm good. I think we've covered everything that we.
Beautiful, Susan. Thank you. Such fun.
Yes.
Yeah, it's nice to see how this wonderful art is a gift to these guys. Definitely. All right, well, thank you, everybody, for joining. I actually, I think we're back in 2 weeks with Robin McKay, and I will be back. Robin's been working with a horse in Canada that has had some challenging issues, so we'll be talking about that in 2 weeks.
Very
Fantastic.
good.
Great,
you.
great story, and this is a horse that wouldn't really let anybody touch it, that is now fully engaging in Jin Shin Jyutsu, so it'll be a great story.
Cool.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you.
This is its name.
Dewey says goodbye.
He's very good.
Thank you, Jude. Nope, we're still on live. All right. Any suggestions from anybody?
The
All right.
when you changed the background screen, it helped immensely.
Yeah, I forgot about that until when I was looking at it from back on the mat, I noticed that it still looked awfully blurry. So I'll keep that off for the next time. Thank you.
Bye, Susan.
All right. See you guys. See you in 2 weeks. All right, Chu, what do you think? Anything I need to do different? Are you there?